here and let me get you a copy.
Oh, that seems right.
We're all waiting.
I blame the leader. It's
The file of the
I
United
think so.
It's a very popular quote which says, one nation, God, in his total, creating justice for all.
Okay, sit down. Good evening, everyone. Meeting come to order. First item is one citizen. Okay. Um, Actually, I have a letter that I get names and Jim Sanders, 43 Galinsky Circle in Oxford. I actually have a letter here from Scottish. I'll have you. And I don't normally make any letters or anything like that. I kind of stay in the limelight. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but especially I did notice the meeting minutes from last month and talk about the rain this year and talk about like rock house and talk about like density of trails, density of population. So I kind of went through the process of, showing how dense the population trails are. But I also stressed that we have some really, really great civic organizations right, in town. Whether it's the Oxford Land Trust, the Nation Fire Corporation, Boy Scouts, the Range, the Cultural Arts Committee, when we work together, we can do great things, right? And I think that's what we should concentrate in on that rock house. I do believe that rock house is kind of that. I call over the state. And anybody who knows me knows how I call over the state. And rock house has the most densely population trails per square foot I've seen anywhere in the state. And so I guess what I would say is I think that rock house existing trails, if you ask, I think we should concentrate more on the trail maintenance of the trails. And if people are worried about what the Oxford Deep Conservation will do because they're not necessarily building trails, I've shown that in this letter over here, some things that they can do. There's a lot of work, there's a plethora of work out there that can and I think should be. That's kind of all I have to say. Now I can send an electronic copy of this as well, if you want.
If you can.
It's conservatively read by anybody who wants to see. Yeah, this is the interest of all parents. We just talked about what meeting was starting when it's late. And this is a concern. What I think, you can give Kristen your phone number or whatever. I think sit down and talk that later. Sure, absolutely. Yeah. I'll send her an email with this and my phone. And thank you for everything you've done. I think we. Like I said, I try to stay out of it. Limelight, but sometimes I speak up. Not very often. I got a call from a guy a couple of days ago. Who wanted to yell a new puppy when I take it for a walk. And wanted to go through Main Street, what's the street? And he said, no, it's not shovel. It is? It is? It is not. Okay. I'm wondering if something that we should do or would be involved in it. Not shoveling. Yep. But it's plowing.
Trouble with the speakers, so I'm just trying to see if we hear you better. When you speak, can you kind of like speak towards the.
Is this any better?
We're going to find out.
Okay.
Breakfast on, letting us know.
So, if you could, I would like to talk to you, and maybe that might be something that we can have Public Works do. I don't want to volunteer them for anything more than what they're already doing. They're pretty well overworked as it is, but that might be nice. I remember when we had that huge snowstorm years ago, 38 inches of snow we got. And one woman asked me to clear a path for
rock house. So I said, well, 38 inches of snow out there. She had snowshoes. She wanted to walk in snowshoes. So I did. Anybody wants to go through snowshoes, uh, you know. So, maybe we could talk about that too. So, thank you. Anyone else on audience of citizen? Go ahead. Wait a minute, what town are you a citizen
Oxford, there's about 25 of them, so you can get,
of?
David Kane, Train Drive. This message is in regard to the possible appointing Joe Lanier to the IWACC. The Joe Lanier Conservation Commission first started, fully supported this group. Over recent years, while I started support of the YCC Commission, I had issues, conflicts of interest, which I knew as well. I'm unable. Oxford Moon Trust was largely responsible for the town 501 acres of open space, which is now the Rock Castle Sanctuary. In 1998, the land trust maintained and developed some trails. This was in compliance with the memorandum of understanding with the Board of Selectmen's contract that spells out the sanctuary's maintenance responsibilities. Since about 2012, Joe has taken over. He sits on inland wetlands and makes decisions on Rock House Hill Sanctuary trails, then uses YCC to help construct them. He's paid himself approximately $250,000 to $300,000 over this time. Therein lies the conflict. He buys very expensive tools for YCC to use and stores them at his home. He introduced mountain biking to Rock House Hill Sanctuary, and instead of being on Parcel C, which he represented, he's done most of it on Parcel D. He's accepted money from NEMBA and gotten grants with no permission from the Oxford Land Trust or the Board of Selectmen, as stated in the memorandum. Rock House Hill Sanctuary has now become a destination for mountain biking. The state forester who assessed Rock House Hill Sanctuary said there was 5 times too many trails on this property. Recently, again, without permission, clear cut about a half an acre in a wet area for a parking lot for another proposed trail for handicapped people. There are more appropriate places in town for this trail, maybe even perhaps, and Jim could talk to it, the Little River Nature Preserve. Joe has, I believe, misused his position on inland wetlands and has failed to get permission from the Board of Selectmen for anything that's been done work-related on the sanctuary while getting paid thousands of dollars. By the way, the Oxford Land Trust maintained this property for about 12 years for free. He tries to make people think the YCC could not exist without him. He badmouths the Oxford Land Trust constantly. He fails to acknowledge that without the Land Trust, Rock House Hill Sanctuary doesn't happen, Oxford High School doesn't happen, and Joe Lanier and the YCC doesn't happen. I don't deny that Joe and the YCC have done many good things, but it's been without accountability or permission. Mr. Lanier serves as an appointed member of ISTF inland wetlands that directly and indirectly influences, directs, coordinates, oversees approved projects, applies for grants to which he directly or indirectly, personally or financially benefits. I think this is a question of ethics. Last year, he missed over half the board meetings. This is why I feel he should not be reappointed. And I say, having made this statement, I will recuse myself when this comes to a vote.
I don't think you have to recuse yourself. We know where you stand.
Which is why I want to recuse myself, because I don't want to put the land trust in any more position for Joe Lanier to crit. After working my ass off for 38 years, I had to keep that.
All right, anyone else? You ain't done?
I'm just gonna move this in front of all of you to see if that works.
It's not working.
They only work we've determined that they only work inside here. Like for the people here, not online.
What's wrong with our IT stuff now? We had no,
That was an issue all day today.
we had no internet.
Yeah.
Not tradition.
Is it us or,
No, so these speakers work in here, but not online. So we're going to put this here in front of all of you to see if it works better.
okay.
The more, the more we pay for the service, the more we pay for the service, the worse it gets.
We could hear you without a microphone. All right. Amendments, none? Good. Acceptance of the minutes. For a motion.
Am I doing these? Yeah, you can do them. I'll move to approve the February 4th, 2026 regular meeting minutes as presented. I'll second.
Any changes? All right, hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Appointments. Chief of Chiefs, reappointment.
I'll move to reappoint Scott Pelletier of Oxford as the 2026 Chief of Chiefs as presented in the Board of Chiefs letter dated January 6th, 2026. Second.
I think this is kind of a no-brainer.
Absolutely.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Quaker Farms Company Fire Police reappointments.
I'll move to reappoint Lou Azuko, Ronald Stebar, and Ed Roman of Oxford as Quaker Farms Fire Company 2026 Fire Police as presented and recommended in the Fire Chief's letter 2/2/26. Second.
Yes, these guys do a great job, by the way. They're out there all kinds of weather. And, certainly appreciate it. And I support this motion. Any comments?
Same thing. Lucky to have it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Charter Revision Commission appointment.
I'll move to appoint Ken Kroll, who is an unaffiliated voter of Oxford, to the 2026 Charter Revision Commission. Second.
Discussion. Was this your recommendation?
Yes.
Okay.
This fills out the board now with proper minority representation.
Good.
And I have, if you decide to increase it or if we lose any members, I have 2 more ready to go on.
Good. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Oxford Main Street Project Committee appointment.
I move to appoint Karen Cook of Oxford to the Oxford Main Street Project Committee. Second.
Yeah, Karen, of course, is our grant coordinator. And this Main Street project thrives on grants. So it just makes sense. And she should have a very intelligent woman, and she should have a say in what goes on in this project. So. I knew she was here, but she wasn't here. I tell you what I really think. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Lake Housatonic Authority reappointment.
I'll move to reappoint John Downs Jr., Richard Spear, and Timothy Glover of Oxford to the Lake Shore Authority with a term to commence immediately and expire on 12/31/2028. Second. This was Lake Zoyadin? Oh, I'm sorry, did I skip one?
Yeah,
we think
I said Lake Housatonic.
Sorry about that.
So these Housatonic, okay.
Okay. I move to reappoint Scott James Olson of Oxford to the Lake Housatonic Authority with a term to commence immediately and expire on 12/31/2028. Second.
Any discussion? I think they've been doing the job and doing it admirably. I support this. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Lake Shore Authority reappoint.
Move to reappoint Don Downs Jr., Richard Spear, and Timothy Glover of Oxford to the Lake Shore Authority with a term that commence immediately and expire on 12/31/28. All right, second.
Discussion. Once again, it's a reappointment, and we haven't had any problems with that, and so I know these people and they're good people, so I support this. All in favor?
Aye.
Water Pollution Authority.
Move to appoint Larry Ellis, Christopher DeAngelis, and Robert Farnham of Oxford to the Water Pollution Control Authority with a term to commence immediately and expire on 12/31/20.
Second. Discussion, well, there isn't a long line of people that wanna get on this particular committee and these three have been on it for a while. And, I think they've done a great job with the problems that we've had. No, all in favor?
Aye.
Housing Authority, reappoint.
Move to reappoint Felix Norris of Oxford to the Housing Authority with a term to commence immediately and expire on 12/13.
Second. Discussion, Pete's been on it for about 8 years now. I think, yeah.
I didn't realize he's even on it. Yeah, good.
And, obviously, somebody that we all know, very intelligent guy. I think, Pete's a Democrat, isn't he, or is he, unaffiliated? You know?
He was once upon a time a Democrat. I think he might be unaffiliated.
Is he? Yeah. Oh, well, doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It does a good job. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Board of Ethics, reappoint.
Move to reappoint Dave Vernoy, William Leader, Dennis Phillips, Mary Androsky, Paul Schreiber, and Mary Maria Osterholm of Oxford to the Board of Ethics with a term to commence immediately and expire on 12/31/29.
Second. Discussion.
Just
How many people we have on that board now?
So we have 6. There was one that decided not to be.
So we gotta get somebody else.
Do we know the status of William Leader?
We don't. So we're gonna
So,
send out a letter.
yeah. Yeah.
So we may need 2 people.
Well, at any rate,
Contact with everyone. They want it to be reappointed.
and you didn't get a hold of William Leader? You said you send him a letter though.
We will. Once
Well,
no one seems to know his whereabouts.
I don't think we should, I would, move to, strike that name until we have confirmation that he wants to be on it.
Amendment here. I'll second the motion to strike.
All in favor of
Aye.
of the amendment?
Aye.
Okay, all in favor of the motion as amended?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
So we need to.
Well, if he wants it, offer it to him. But if not, we'll get to it.
I can't see.
Tax refund.
If you leave it, you don't get a hold of Bill, then you have 5 people, so you would need 2, yeah.
Yeah, so the charter says a minimum of 7.
Right.
So what do you do if you don't have so?
You have to be ethical. Tax refunds.
I'll move to approve tax refunds totaling $23,726.71 as presented and recommended by the tax collector in her letter dated February 13th, 2026, and authorized 2 signatures.
Second.
No, and why the big number?
Yeah.
Stipulated agreement? Which one? Oh, a tax appeal? Boy, that's a lot for them.
That's a big tax appeal, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the $11,000 one. What's the total of the 9,000, 3 different things? What's that one all about?
Um, I'm gonna hold off on this.
Welcome to the
So,
election.
motion to, table,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Yeah, I wanna look into what that $11,000 is. You know,
Just tabling that one.
no, the whole thing. We'll get you next time. Hey, Helen, if you ever see anything like that, make sure I see it before the meeting.
Is that a business?
No,
It's a home.
Yeah, all's bad.
It's a lumber of an adjustment of a home.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's something that we definitely want to look into.
I mean, there's
before-
not a lot of houses in Oxford that pay 11,000 in taxes, let alone get an adjustment of 11,000.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Hire elderly commission clerk.
I'll move to hire Karen Karinsky of Oxford as the elderly commission clerk at a pay rate of $17.56 per hour, and the start date to commence immediately.
Second.
Is this a recommendation of the elderly commission? Okay. Oh, you're recommending. This is your recommendation. Okay.
Former school teacher here in Oxford.
Yeah, no, I know she is. Does a good job. All in favor?
So this position is in the
Aye.
budget?
It's in. Close.
Oh, okay. I didn't know she resigned. Okay. All right. Sorry. Aye.
Aye.
You're so used to what they do up there. Hartford. Hire senior center driver.
I'll move to hire Michael Eisenbach of Millbury as the senior center driver at a pay rate of $17.58 per hour and start date to commence immediately.
Second.
Discussion. Marianne?
right.
Okay, so,
Like I think used to be a teacher.
Isn't he a gym teacher?
yeah, he was gym teacher, yeah. Oh, yeah, okay. Anybody that can play dodgeball must be. All right. Any further discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Hire part-time senior center office assistant.
I'll move to hire Sophia Morales of Oxford as a part-time senior center office assistant at a pay rate of $19 per hour and a start date of Monday, March 2nd, 2026.
Second.
Yeah, this woman is a student at Sacred Heart. She's been doing work at the senior center as part of her studies, and everybody likes her. Is that fair to say? Yeah. And I've seen her interact with the senior members, and she's really engaging, nice personality, very smart. She's going for a master's degree. I think that this is a home run. So, I'd like to see her later on.
Stay on.
Stay on. Exactly. But that would make sense. Any comments? You have anything more? you get much, participation on Friday?
Trying to run. With the offer lunch.
Yeah, well, I mean, when I took over, as first selectman, the senior center was closed on Friday. And, no, nobody came in. And that didn't make any sense to me because, it's a place where seniors could go out and, you know, be with their friends and, play cards or whatever they do or just talk. Or, even use the library or that they have down there. So, you know, I'm, I really think that the more that we provide on Friday, the more it'll be utilized and the more the senior center will be utilized. When do the happy hookers meet? By the way, for those of you, the uninitiated, the happy hookers, what do they do? Uh, yeah, okay. Well, all right. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Be no action taken on the lawn and athletic maintenance contract. I apologize, but I've been under the weather myself for a little while and wasn't able to look at the materials that was given to me by Park and Rec. So we will have that done within the next 2 weeks for sure. Anybody here for that? I'm sorry, but it will be done. But there's some people I want to talk to and look over those contracts very carefully. Bulky waste recycling and dumpster contract award bids. Approve and authorize for a selectman to sign.
I'll move to award contract for the town of Oxford's bulky waste recycling, hauling, and dumpster pickup services to Interstate IWS for 307 White Street, Danbury, as recommended by the Director of Public Works, and authorize the first selectman to sign.
Second.
Discussion, obviously, this is, went out to bid. Bids were pretty close, but Wayne feels that this company would be much more responsive than what we had last time. We never had the contract with this other company. No, so, but just the right way to do things, and that's what we're gonna do now. So, any questions or comments? All in
No.
favor?
Aye.
Aye. Purchase Freightliner 114 SD single axle plow truck. Approve.
I'll move to approve the purchase of a Freightliner 114 SD single axle plow truck in the amount not to exceed 300,000 as recommended by the Director of Public Works and is letter dated February 10th, 2026 and forward to the Board of Finance.
Second.
Discussion. This is unusual for us to be buying this. It's not budgeted or anything, but we need another truck. Yeah, I know, but you know, uh, I think, one thing about Wayne, he's been very cooperative. When we first started out, and Dave, you were part of this, very much a part before you went on to Public Works. That was a priority with us, was and the Public Works up to snuff as far as equipment, and I think we did a pretty good job on that. But we can't just let it sit the way it is, or pretty soon we're going to be like we were before, stuck with a bunch of old relics. So these things have to be replaced at different time intervals, kind of like what the firemen do.
This is a great opportunity to just happen to be in the right place at the right time. Because I talked to Mike Blood, I talked to Mike Keller, the mechanic, talked to Wayne. They all say it's a good truck, and like I said, it's a good opportunity. And we have 3 trucks right now. One is 24 years old up to 32 years old. They all have rotted frames and rotted bodies. They shouldn't even be on the road, quite frankly.
We got a 1994.
32-year-old truck.
Yeah. So
So this one's brand new then? So they just happen to have one in stock, in other words?
I guess. I don't know.
yeah,
Yeah.
I can't.
this is the time to buy them. You don't buy them after budget because everybody's done with their budget.
All right.
This is the time that you save money.
I don't know the circumstances of somebody that failed to take delivery or whatever.
Uh-huh.
But the opportunity came up, and it's like, oh, price money for us, and it's a pretty good deal.
Okay.
Okay, any further discussion? This will be sent on to the Board of Finance. All in favor?
All right.
Aye. 234 Chestnut Tree Hill Road, re-subdivision, common driveway request.
A move to approve the waiver from the driveway ordinance for a common driveway for 234 Chestnut Trail Road re-subdivision. Reason for approval is the most prudent and feasible method to assess a new lot as recommended and approved by the Land Use Council and the Planning and Zoning Commission and the Oxford Conservation Commission and the Wetlands Agency. Period.
Second.
Well, I mean, when they recommended it,
Can't speak for about
no.
no brainer.
Anybody have any questions?
If you don't approve this, there's relatives of Bob's that have been here for a couple hundred years that might haunt us.
I'm worried about you haunting this.
That goes without saying.
So,
Okay, all in favor?
wait, I want to understand, this is, so but your house is the one in the front here on Chestnut Tree Hill Road, is that right?
Right.
Yeah. And then the proposed lot is behind yours, and the driveway goes behind the Pratt property, is that right?
Driveway actually comes off and aerated lane.
Off of, yeah, okay. And so what's it shared with is my question. Oh, there's this other house over here, I didn't even see that one.
Face house.
That's your house. So you're gonna share it with this new lot.
Hope you get along with the neighbor.
Oh, I see how this is now. All right. All right, now I understand.
Good.
Okay.
Now that Arnie understands. All in favor? Aye. And now we come to the report of the first selectman. We had an opportunity to go to Hartford for the opening day of the legislative session. Heard the governor speak, Kristen was recognized by the Senate. It was all about you.
Mm-hmm.
And it was uh, interesting, to say the least. Is all I could say is the political season has begun, you know, and the guns are out there. But I was uh, really impressed with the way the senators and legislators uh, work with each other across party lines, and that doesn't seem to be a big deal. Obviously, they have their ideological differences, but they still act like ladies and gentlemen and treat each other with respect. Which unfortunately I think is going downhill on a larger scale on both sides of the aisle. Name calling and stuff like that. What I saw was, I mean, they have, as you can always rely on Hartford to come up with some wacky ideas, which they're doing, but they work together. I think they work together very well. I think the governor is uh, a very good leader in that respect. And, I think it was an interesting uh, day to see. And it was an honor in front of the Senate. And I thank Senator Bethel for that. Um, we are announcing today that we got our S&P short-term rating, and it's as good as you can get. And our AA rating will be preserved. Oxford's in, uh, according to Standard and Poor's, uh, pretty good shape. Um, and I was concerned about this after the flood. The reason, and if you recall, the election was going on, that there was a question as to whether we lost our Standard and Poor's rating because our audit wasn't done on time. Our audit wasn't done on time because we have two people or three people. One's a part timer in our finance department. They have to do W-2 forms. They have to do the budget and prepare for the budget, and they have to do regular payroll. And at the time, they had to do FEMA applications. So, and that was really time consuming. They put in a lot of hours. I want to thank Paula and Jim Haliva for the yeoman work that they did on that. Yeah, I know. I know she's probably hanging out with Karen, so I say nice things about people when they're here. But it's, you know, they were late with the budget, but of course there were probably another 50 towns and, 50 municipalities that were also late, but nobody cared. And this is catching up on that. We are really on sound footing, and that's a pleasure to see. And it's largely because of the hard work of the finance department, and I might add Public Works and Wayne, the way we recovered from that flood. And of course, I would be remiss if I didn't thank the governor and Senator Blumenthal for the strong support during that time. But we were able to recover pretty well without getting killed on taxes. And then finally, see, yeah, I want to discuss the uh, problem that we had with the Quaker Farm School. Uh, I got the call, and that Quaker Farm School, uh, the fire suppression system froze. That a recirculation pumps went off. There was a power surge, which tripped the breaker of the recirculation pumps, and so there was no water circulating in the system, and it froze, and that was a mess. It still is. But everything's thawed out now. Uh, they were told by Eversource had to put a new transformer in so that our new heating system can have a sufficient electricity to work. And they were supposed to be here in December, but they canceled. And then they canceled because of the snowstorm. And the next time that they were going to be able to do it would have been April. So the superintendent called me, and what this is important is we are now heating the school with the new heating system and cooling system. Right? They were able to put it back on the line. So the superintendent called me, and I called Congressman Hines, and I said, we just can't have this. We can't. We have 300 kids that are going to be home, and the parents aren't going to be happy with anybody. So uh, he right away got on it. He's on the utilities. I don't know what they call it down in Congress, but that committee, he's ranking member. And Eversource suddenly came back the next day and did it. From April to then, but uh, it just goes to show how Board of Ed, Board of Selectmen, and Congress can work together. And uh, I of course thanked him. He's always been good for Oxford as far as uh, those things. If we need him, he's there. So it was the right call, and the kids are back in school, and it had a happy ending. I don't think the cost to be that much. We are insured for it, but it turned out that even though the pipes were some of the pipes were broken, there wasn't an awful lot of water damage because they had drained whatever pipes that they could. So anyway, we should be back. Hopefully, we don't get any freezing weather anymore like we had. So, um, and that's about it for me. Okay, so just two quick questions related. Yeah. Is there any recourse with another source? Uh, Probably not. And the other one is, they're really insulated from stuff like that. In the world we live in today, with all the technology, and you don't need a guy 24/7 to be in the building. You have all kinds of alarms, backup systems, and everything else. I just, for the life of me, don't understand why these things continue to happen. I had that conversation with the superintendent. The superintendent is, I mean, I'm really impressed with him. There was no panic in him, you know. He was calm and everything was rational. You know, I think he's a really good choice for us. But he loves Oxford. His wife loves Oxford. That's all.
Well, living.
Yeah,
I don't know that because he's living
he lives in Oxford Green, but he moved here from New York,
in New York.
Long Island. But the you know, it's I we had the conversation. I said, you know, this is a jury rig, you know, when you do stuff like that. You know, going back to my old Navy days on submarines, if it was broken, you damn well better fix it, and never mind, you know, saying, well, if this goes out, I gotta remember to do that. No, anything automatic has to be automatic. And you know, I talked to him about that. He's totally on board. He has a different. He's not there to chew people out, but to guide them and make sure they get it done right. Because I think, uh, you know, it's kind of a result of sloppy work, and you know, I think that in the future it won't be that sloppy.
Well, I can tell you as a typically member of the charter revision, I want to put something in there that when these kinds of things go out to bid for new buildings, that the bid, whoever gets awarded the bid must plug in a number, a certain percentage of the work, so you don't have these fly-by-night subcontractors doing the work.
Yeah, well, that's true. But I don't think that was the case here. It was just a case where, you know, it seems to me like you could have had, like you said, with today's technology, you have a breaker goes, you gotta be able to get it on your phone, an alarm, you know? And, you know, if it costs, you know, $300 more,
I mean, I'm no
Right.
expert, I'm not a builder or anything like that, but I know for a fact there's all kinds of contingencies that kind of stuff can happen.
yeah, I'm no expert either on that or anything. All right. Is there a motion to adjourn? So move. All in favor?
I
Can I see? Gene, S&P, is this it? Who's the second?
How you doing?
Thank you.
No, no problem. Hey, you know, I want to get your wife involved in our celebration.
Yeah,
She's got a lecture this Saturday.